All right, we're going to go on to day 3 or day 2 of conversions, but before we do, my last example from the previous video got cut off, so I'm going to do that one here. So starting with number 7 from day 2 conversions, or day 1 of conversions, a sloth travels 0.15 meters per hour. Convert the speed to millimeters per minute. So I'm going from meters to millimeters, and I'm going from hour to minute. So there are two conversions that are happening there, one for the length or the distance and the other for the time. So I'll need two funny forms of one. So I've got 0.15 meters per hour. That's the beginning problem. I'm going to start by converting meters into millimeters. So if I want meters to go away, it's currently in the numerator, so I'm going to put it in the denominator. I'm turning it into millimeters. I ask myself which one is larger, 1 millimeter or 1 meter, and it's 1 meter. And then how many millimeters are in that meter? 1,000. So now I can cancel, because I have a meter on both the top and the bottom, that can go away. So now trying to convert the time. Hours is currently in the denominator, so I'm going to put it in the numerator. I'm trying to convert it to minutes, which is larger, 1 hour or 1 minute, 1 hour, so that's where the 1 goes. And how many minutes are in an hour? 60. And then again, because I've got an hour in the numerator and an hour in the denominator, I can cancel that. To simplify the problem, I multiply across the numerator and across the denominator. So in the numerator, I'm taking 0.15 times 1,000, so I get 150 millimeters. In the denominator, I'm taking 1 times 60, so I get 60 minutes. And recall, we want our answer as a unit rate. So if I take 150 divided by 60, I get 2.5 millimeters per minute. All right, so now officially onto the day 3 notes. It's just more conversions, just additional examples for you. So if I look at example 8, it says, given that 4 cups equals 1 quart, convert 200 cups to 4 quarts. So note, this isn't a rate, it's just a conversion from unit to unit. So I've got 4 cups. Sorry, I'm going to start that one over. I'm actually starting with this part where it says convert. So I've got 200 cups. And then I want to use this 4 cups equals 1 quart as my funny form of 1. So I need to figure out which way to set it up. So because I want cups to cancel and it's currently in the numerator, I'm going to put it in the denominator. And then I'm turning it into quarts, which is larger, a quart or a cup, a quart. And there are 4 cups in a quart. So the 4 goes on the bottom. So because I have cups in both the numerator and the denominator, it cancels. And again, to simplify, I multiply across the numerator and then I multiply across the denominator. So 200 times 1 is 200 quarts. And 1, which is the understood denominator there, times 4 is 4. And then I want it to not have a denominator. So 200 divided by 4 is 50 quarts. All right, the next one there, 25 miles per hour to feet per day. So I'm converting miles to feet and hours to days. So I'm starting with 25 miles in an hour. All right, if I start with the distance, it really doesn't matter where I start. I'm going to note that miles is currently in the numerator, so I'm going to put it in the denominator. And I'm turning it into feet. Again, length goes together, time goes together. So miles and feet, which is larger, 1 foot or 1 mile, 1 mile. And then there's 5,280 feet in that 1 mile. Because I have miles in both the numerator and the denominator, it will cancel. So now I'm going to move on to time. I want hours to go away. It's currently in the denominator, so I'm going to put it in the numerator. I'm turning it into a day, which is larger, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 day. So that's where the 1 goes. And then there's 24 hours in a day. Now that I have hours in both the denominator and the numerator, I can cancel. And to simplify the problem, I multiply across the numerator and then across the denominator and divide. So 25 times 5,280 times 24 is 316,800 feet. And 1 times 1 is 1 day. And that is already a unit rate. But you may consider reformatting your answer. Just the label is 316,800 feet per day. All right, number 10. Convert 30 meters in 45 seconds to millimeters per minute. So I'm going meters to millimeters, distance to distance. in seconds to minute, time to time. So 30 meters, 45 seconds. That's my beginning problem. If I start with the distance, I want meters to cancel. It's currently in the numerator, so I'm going to put it in the denominator. And I want to turn it into millimeters. Put the 1 with the larger unit, so 1 millimeter or 1 meter, that'd be 1 meter. And there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. Then our time unit, seconds and minutes. I want seconds to cancel. It's currently in the denominator. I'm going to move it to the numerator. Minutes on the bottom, because that's what I'm changing it into. 1 second or 1 minute, which is larger, the 1 minute. And then how many seconds in a minute? 60. If you haven't gone through, noted that because seconds is in the denominator and the numerator, it can cancel. And because meters is in the numerator and the denominator, it can cancel. So that I only have the units that I want in my final answer. So now multiply across the numerator. I get 1,800,000 millimeters. And then across the denominator, 45 times 1 times 1 is 45 minutes. But I want all my answers as unit rates. So I get 40,000 millimeters per minute. 11, determine the mass in grams of 0.0458 mole of sulfur. So we talked about how the reason why we're using this method is because it's the one you will see in chemistry. Here's an example of chemistry. A mole is a unit of measure in science. The mole's equivalency changes based on the element from the periodic table that you're dealing with. So sulfur here. So if I were to do the conversion, I'm starting with 0.0458 mole of sulfur. I'm going to note that mole is currently in the numerator, so I'm going to put it in the denominator, and I'm trying to turn it into grams. 1 mole, 32.07 grams. So note how the labels match up. So this was 1 mole, so here I have 1 mole. And here I had 32.07 grams, so here I have 32.07 grams. A little harder to imagine like which is larger, a mole or a gram. That's why you have to pay really close attention to what was given to you. So now I can cancel the moles. And I can multiply 0.0458 times 32.07 is 1.47 grams. All right, number 12, convert 25 centimeters per second into inches per hour. If you haven't taken an opportunity to pause the video and try one on your own, consider doing that here for the last one, noting that you're converting centimeters to inches, those are your length measurements, and seconds to hours, those are your time measurements. So if I set it up, I have 25 centimeters per second. So currently that's a 1 second. If I start with centimeters, I want to cancel. It's in the numerator, put it on the denominator. I'm turning it into inches. 1 inch or 1 centimeter. 1 inch is larger. There's 2.54 centimeters in an inch. All right, then seconds. It's in the denominator, so I move it to the numerator. And I'm going to replace it with hour, which is larger, 1 second or 1 hour, 1 hour. And how many seconds are in that 1 hour? 3,600. If you haven't canceled your units yet, seconds with seconds and centimeters with centimeters. So that the only units remaining in the problem are the ones you want in your answer, inches per hour. And then multiply across the numerator. You get 90,000 inches. And then across the denominator, you get 2.54 hours. But we want a unit rate, so we're going to divide it out, and we get 35,433.07 inches per hour. All right, that is it for conversions. If you have any questions, make sure you come in and see a math teacher. Thank you.